notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal to serve you better. You can open a Sagicor Bank savings account from anywhere. Go online and open yours today.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 o'clock.
In CVM News at 7 tonight, mother and son among 4 killed in highway collision. Todd's calls for greater collaboration with traffic police and taxi operators. Pernal Charles Arcade up in flames again. Vendors displaced. There's also Inspire Jamaica with Curlin Brown. And in sports, Kingston College and Heidel take Champs 2025. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, March 30, 2025. I'm Ronaldo Adams. Thanks for having joined us. 4 people, including a mother and her son, today perished in a fatal motor vehicle collision. With the nation again in shock and grief, authorities appeal for greater efforts and heightened road safety measures in reducing the number of fatal crashes and road fatalities. The latest incident unraveled Sunday along the St. Catherine leg of the PJ Patterson Highway. Shantig McNeil reports.
Tragedy struck early Sunday morning on what authorities considered one of the island's safest highways. A 2-vehicle crash along the PJ Patterson Highway in St. Catherine claimed 4 lives, including an 8-year-old child, a moment no one saw coming. Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, ACP Gary McKenzie, explains that a grey 2002 Toyota Probox heading in the direction of Kingston with about 11 passengers seemingly lost control, causing the vehicle to overturn.
Whilst the persons were attempting to get out of the vehicle, we understand that a Benz SUV motorcar traveled along the said roadway heading into Kingston in the same easterly direction when it crashed with this vehicle. As a result, several persons were hit. We understand that the driver of the Toyota Probox motorcar, as well as 2 female passengers and a young female child, were hit and died as a result of this crash.
Among the victims, a mother and son duo. They've since been identified as 8-year-old Troy Stewart of a Golden Avenue address, 29-year-old Wendy Lamy, 22-year-old Taisha Manhart, both from Papine, and 27-year-old Andre McLeish of a Tavern Avenue address. It's an incident that has dealt a massive blow to many, including Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones.
I just received the shocking news that early this morning, 4 persons died on the nation's road. 4 one time. 2 women, 2 males, 1 a young child, 8 years old, all under the age of 30. This is absolutely shocking. The police report suggests that somebody was speeding. There was distracted driving, and there is an inquiry about a collision with a vehicle in a previous crash. This is our worst nightmare come true as road safety advocates.
Dr. Jones says urgent action is needed to curb reckless driving, which continues to shatter families and lives.
Everybody has to be on deck with this. The entire nation. Try and put a stop to this kind of multiple fatality crash. We continue to speak. We continue to warn. We continue to work with civil society and the government, especially with the police, to try and put an end to this. It can be done, but every hand has to be on deck to stop this kind of carnage and pain and grief.
So far, 92 lives have been lost in over 80 fatal crashes since the start of the year, a toll that keeps rising. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
With road fatalities on the decline, Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, says there is still more work to be done to include forming better relationships with taxi operators. Shante McNeil picks up that story.
The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, is calling for stronger collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, to improve road safety. While the TODS executive maintains a positive working relationship with the JCF's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, President Egerton Newman says the experience for taxi operators on the road is a different story. He believes bridging this gap is key to achieving safer roads.
But we have to find a way to bring the operators and the Jamaica Constabulary Force Rev under an umbrella to see where the challenges are. Because I believe that without a good working relationship with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we're gonna continue to have challenges within the public transport sector. And I know we can reach there.
He was speaking at the 6th Biannual Safety and Security Prayer Breakfast, where he also acknowledged that while authorities must adjust their approach, some operators also need to change their behavior.
If there's an altercation between a police officer and a transport operator, the noise around both men, that is the cause of the problem. The noise. So everybody saying, yes, no, and therefore it gives either the officer or the operator, in their view, more power to defend themselves. The police officer has the right, the responsibility on the law to ensure peace. But if he's going to be attacked by other persons, he has to defend himself.
So far this year, 83 road collisions have been recorded, an 11% drop compared to the same period last year. But while the numbers decline, the pain remains. Families are still grieving and hospitals continue to bear the strain. Speaking on behalf of PSTEB head Gary McKenzie, DSP Colin Roberts stressed that reducing road fatalities further will require decisive action.
Road safety, it's not just a concern for drivers, for pedestrians or cyclists. It is a shared responsibility that requires our collective attention and action.
Authorities continue to urge road users to obey traffic laws as they push for safer roads for all. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Meanwhile, taxi and bus operators are to expect money back when going to Total Energies service stations. Adrian Williams tells us how the gas company, along with the Transport Operators Sustainable Development Services, TODS, says they are giving the sector a long-deserved benefit.
Transport operators will be benefiting from a $49 million giveback from Total Energies Jamaica through partnership with the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, Lasco Financial Services, and the Courts Ready Cash. TODS President Egerton Newman breaks down the benefit for operators.
What they will get? $3 back for every liter of gas they purchase. Of course, you must get your Lasco Gold Visa card.
With the Lasco Gold Card, operators can save up to $107,000 annually.
Every taximan at the end of the year will save $78,000. Every taximan. And the busman will save $107,000.
Sanjeev Shiasanka, Commercial Director of Total Energies Jamaica, is encouraging all operators to get on board so they can secure this benefit.
And we are also targeting all the TODS members to be able to sign up to be able to receive the card. And we are also giving away vouchers to our loyal customers of Total Energies Barnett Street, so that they are able to also fill up some of their tank thanks to Total Energies. It's on the house.
Dealer for the Barnett Street Total Service Station, George Hamilton, started a similar initiative in 2017, but is now glad some of his biggest customers can benefit even further.
I'm very satisfied that taxi drivers are getting money back in their pockets. You understand? Taxi drivers are now making a profit.
Well, it's very sufficient for such to get a discount of $3 per litre. Very much, every dollar counts.
The sector is one of those sectors that is very much ill-treated by this country. There are low fares and just about everything that is not good. The transport sector for the past about 50 years. And this is one of our best offer that had come to us since Sliced Bread, since we started operation.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Uncertainty looms as the authorities investigate another fire at the Pernell Charles Arcade in Kingston on Sunday. The cost of the damage is yet to be ascertained, and the number of affected vendors remains unclear. A major thoroughfare in western Westmoreland has finally been repaired, but as the political advocate shares in the joy of the announcement, he issues a word of caution. More from Shante McNeil. We move on to another story. We'll take that story actually after this break. We'll be right back.
Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, yeah, the place have to clean. PET, that up polyethylene, HDPE, buckle up, get screen. Baby to granny, everybody roping. Yeah, we got to go green, you know what I mean. See the sign from the bin, if we drop it in through car window, you flick, that another thing. And we don't want no garbage in this game. No, we handle it up, bug them are not the same. So listen up, Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that we'll be safer than in the gullies in the every rains. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place.
This is combat racing. Best on best. Kenny versus Fred, fastest men alive. Masai versus Jasmine, the crown is hard to keep. Cole, Josh, Yara, are you lucky or good? Gabby, Sydney, Marlady, champions preside. This is where scores are settled, legends made, a festival of speed, 4 times every year. The race is on. Buy your tickets now.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May, June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
Welcome back. Uncertainty looms as the authorities investigate another fire at the Pernell Charles Arcade in Kingston on Sunday. The cost of the damage is yet to be ascertained, and the number of affected vendors remains unclear. More from Nika Lewis.
By an inferno. At about 1:18 Sunday afternoon, officials from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, were alerted by the Kingston and St. Andrew Fire Department that a section of the building was on fire.
Unfortunately, another fire occurred here at the Provincial Arcade, just months after one occurred here in late 2024. This is confined to another section of the arcade where some stores were on fire. I believe that about 4 units from the fire brigade have attended with several members of the fire brigade who have put the fire under control, and they're now doing cooling down operations as well as assessing initial damage.
Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force were at the scene to man the chaos as vendors hurriedly tried to save as many items as they could. Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the KSAMC says standard operating procedures are being followed as they await the outcome of an investigation.
We're going to have a meeting led by His Worship the Mayor, the heads of the Commercial Services Unit along with my administrative team. With the members of the arcade, they already have a structure in place with a president and an executive and so on. So we'll be meeting with them to conduct a walkthrough and an assessment. Again, I'd like to reiterate that our insurance coverage does not cover contents, but rather the structure and the building. So those things will have to be discussed as well.
Nika Lewis, CVM News.
A major thoroughfare in western Westmoreland has finally been repaired, but as the political advocate shares in the joy of the announcement, he issues a word of caution. More from Shante McNeil.
Amid growing concerns from citizens and taxi operators in western Westmoreland about poor road conditions, particularly from Graychill Square to Glasgow, Member of Parliament Morland Wilson says progress is being made. He notes that work under the government's multi-million-dollar Spark Road Rehabilitation program has helped ease the long-standing burden for road users.
And you would have seen over the past 3 weeks, we have conducted significant repairs on this roadway. It has been a major concern for a lot of road users, and I've gotten the complaints, and your government is responding. Your government has responded, and you would have seen now where we have sections that have been overlaid, and now we have a beautiful piece of roadway leading right through Glasgow along Top Lincoln.
Wilson is urging motorists to exercise caution on the newly repaired roads.
I'm going to ask road users that have noticed while this road has just been Barber Green that there have been a lot of speeding. So I want you to check your speed while you're traversing this area and be mindful of other road users, especially pedestrians and children, because we do have a school on this roadway. And just be careful as we continue to do the work for your enjoyment.
Wilson confirmed that additional road work will continue across the constituency in the coming months. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Stay with us for more news after this break.
We love our country. Like you, we take pride in building Jamaica. The resilience of our people is cemented in our products, built to last for generations. Laying the foundation for thriving communities, we're committed to excellence and quality. Quality products, quality relationships. We're all proud Jamaicans, working hard, doing good, building a sustainable future for all. That same unbeatable spirit runs through us. We are made of Jamaica. You ever get bun yet? Me not talk about heartbreak. Me talk about the bun with full of spice, raisins, and the perfect glaze.
Bun for bun.
So you do it now.
You have to get bun.
This Easter, you have to get bun from Mother's Bakery.
At the Carpet Store, we bring comfort to every step with flooring that blends softness and style. From carpets and rugs to durable vinyl flooring and expert installation services, we have everything you need to transform your space. And when it's time for a refresh, our carpet and upholstery cleaning service brings your flooring back to life. Visit us at 18 Dunbarton Avenue, Kingston. The Carpet Store, because you deserve the best.
Welcome back. It's now time for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Barbados, hundreds of people walked from Kendall Hill to Silver Hill, Christchurch, to show their opposition to gun violence. The walk was organized to reflect on the tragic loss of 13-year-old Shonatan Chase. He died after being shot multiple times while watching a netball game on the hard court at Silver Hill, Christchurch. Here's the CBC.
Tears flowed as Barbadians from all walks of life participated in the solemn walk throughout the Silver Hill community. Residents took up vantage points at windows and doors to watch the procession, which included Jonathan's grief-stricken parents, who wore shirts bearing a picture of their child's face. His aunt, Ordine Springer, says the family is grateful for the overwhelming support they have been receiving from Barbadians.
It's overwhelming. The show of love and unity, and then walking along the street, I heard people talking about it. They don't know him, but they're talking about it as though he was one of their own.
Ms. Springer says the past few days have been difficult for Shonathan's relatives.
The joint opposition has firmly rejected recent statements made by visiting U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio regarding the construction of the newly completed Heroes Highway in Guyana. More from HGP TV News.
In a lot of these countries, the Chinese companies go in, they do a terrible job. Not a bad job, a terrible job. I just came from Guyana where we had to drive on a road the Chinese built. Were you were on the trip with us?
Yep.
Or did you have to go on this road?
Yeah.
Okay, we almost all had concussions. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that. If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with the dirt road than the road we were just on. To what we think is bad work by the Chinese that never finishes on time, is always over budget, and brings their own workers, don't even hire the locals.
That was United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio speaking during a joint press briefing with Suriname's President Chan Santoki on Wednesday. However, the joint opposition spoke out on Friday, refuting the comments made by Rubio. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, called on the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration to accept responsibility for the poor construction of the Heroes Highway.
In international news, rescue teams from around the world are in Myanmar after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck on Friday, killing 1,700 people. Details from the BBC.
Aid and relief yet to reach the worst-hit areas of quake-hit Myanmar. Desperation and the race against time forcing locals to do everything possible to reach survivors and the dead. Most of Mandalay, Myanmar's second-largest city and home to 1.5 million people, has been reduced to rubble. After a rare appeal for international aid from the military junta regime, help has started coming in, led by China and neighboring India. Amidst the debris, relatives wait anxiously for any news of their loved ones. Hours after he spoke, his wife was pulled out late Saturday night. But the wait for thousands of others still continues. In neighboring Thailand, rescue workers in the capital city Bangkok have been working for nearly 48 hours to look for those missing.
My team are sending a robot in there, and the rescue team will drop down the robot in the tunnel, and we are gonna scan all the rift inside of the tunnel.
Sensors have detected some signs of life, which they are verifying so they can target their efforts in that location. The mountain of debris is not making their jobs any easier, and adding to the burden of exhausted rescue workers is every minute and every hour that passes directly affects the chances of survival of those who might still be trapped inside.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Nika Lewis.
Inspire Jamaica this week latches on to a profession which is child-focused and makes the healthcare and well-being of patients 0 through to adolescents a priority. At a time when statistics show a positive turnaround regarding preventable deaths, which impact family dynamics, moral standings, and is also an economic burden, as Carolyn Brown puts it, please pay attention to what the doctor says.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. if you can.
In 1950, the infant mortality rate was 91.873. In 2000, it was 19.487. In 2020, it was 11.33. And as we speak today, it stands at 10.293. So over the past 75 years, you have moved it from 91 to 10. If that is not progress, I don't know what progress looks like, sounds like, or smells like.
That's Dr. Vincent Peterkin addressing pediatricians and their guests as the main speaker for the 50th anniversary of the Pediatric Association of Jamaica, the PAJ's awards banquet on March 29. And with infant mortality affected by a multiplicity of factors including unintentional medication ingestion, the Dean of the College of Humanities, Behavioral and Social Sciences at the Northern Caribbean University, NCU, who once dreamt of being in medicine, can relate to the horror of medication accessibility by minors.
I had a brother who had seizures, and he was prescribed phenobarbital for relieving of his seizure. It so happened that one night I was at home with my younger siblings, and in the absence of our parents, we decided to see who can take the phenobarbital without water. I took some, and my younger sisters took as well. And the end result was that we ended up sleeping. I slept for a day and a half. My other sister, she slept for 3 days. And my youngest sister, she slept for pretty near about 2 weeks. And coming out of that, we realized that my younger sister could have died, and maybe either my other sister or myself, because of an overdose. So we are just encouraging everyone to ensure that all medications are properly taken care of and put away out of the reach of children.
The problem still exists where parents accidentally leave drugs, medication where children can reach to them. Well, he was lucky to have survived.
And I think the important thing is that, especially for toddlers, we have to make our home safe. Accidents occur in the kitchen and in the bathroom, and certainly we keep a lot of dangerous chemicals under our kitchen cupboards, and we keep things sometimes in soda bottles. Kids don't know what they are, and they ingest kerosene and things like that. So it's important for parents, especially parents of toddlers, to ensure that they make their home safe. And in doing that, they pay attention to those areas, the kitchen, the bathroom, chemicals that they may store in low cupboards, they need to store in high cupboards, and electrical appliances. Kids push their things within outlets, which may shock them, that sort of thing. And the unfortunate thing is that we're also having a lot of kids dying from fires. And so certainly things like candles, kerosene lamps that we turn over, things that in fact make the home susceptible to fires, we need to be aware of. Nowadays, certainly in terms of we have battery lights, that sort of thing, we need to use those. But too many of our kids are dying in fires.
And we also need to remember those children who may be at home with whatever health condition. Sometimes they're left because they can't move around. Those who are disabled or unable to help themselves, we cannot leave them out, can we?
We cannot. And our kids remain kids, and they must be supervised. And as parents, you certainly need to take the responsibility. And I always say to parents that, look, these kids that we have, we don't own them, but we've been given to them by the Almighty to care and guide them, so that as young adults, they can take their place in the world and to support and help to develop Jamaica.
Okay, thank you so much.
Stay with us. I'll have your sports after the break.